watch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
Oh, well, good, happy Monday morning to you here in beautiful downtown Tampa. We're coming to you from what a gorgeous weather it was yesterday. I was out playing golf at Palmacia. Beautiful, beautiful day. And just thank the Lord that we live in the greatest place in the world. Tampa Bay, baby. Tampa Bay. And we got so much to get to today. Of course, the Tom Brady stuff is it's hotter than ever. It's the gift that keeps on giving to us here at the JP Peterson Show. Brought to you by the law offices of Chris Palermo. You can reach him at palermopa.com. Great to see you, Nick Geddes. You made it through engagement photos.
I made it through a whole round of them. I'm not gonna kill him today. Casey listens to the show. I've been reminded.
We love Casey. Yes.
Okay.
I hope she doesn't mind that your relationship is such great fodder here. But people love it. They love the young newlyweds or soon to be newlyweds.
Yeah.
Engaged. So you go through all these rituals that, you know, as you get older in life, we all look back on as completely ridiculous. But it's when you're going through them, they're wonderful. They're fantastic. It's everything. It's wonderful. But the older folks, I should say folks, the guys, you know, the moms love it. I mean, it's a part of, and you need to enjoy it and love it. But, you know,
hey, I came around a little bit yesterday. Very nervous, as you know, I would be.
And you got to embrace the whole thing. Get into it, bro.
I
mean, it really is the whole first marriage, as we old guys say. I'm not going for number 2, but it's wonderful. I mean, we joke about it, but the whole wedding and the reception, I'll never forget my reception. It was the greatest party of all time. It's fantastic. It's great going through it. But like the movie Father of the Bride, when you step back and look at all the stuff that we do, we go, wow, that's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. You got me on the money part there.
But it's good. It is what it is. You know, Enjoy it. You're going to go through it. You might as well enjoy it.
So you might see these pictures in 2 weeks pop up, but
cannot wait.
Nick Geddes was in the water a little bit yesterday. Freezing water, by the way, might add. It was cold. It was cold over there in Anna Maria. Freezing water.
You're like a supermodel. You got to get in the cold water and act like you're not cold. They probably get paid more than you.
Yeah.
All right, we got lots to get to. We'll get to that a little bit later on. We'll get to the details, although Casey may not like it. You'll love it, huh? We're having fun. Well, the Brady situation, we got news from Bruce Arians. Rick Stroud finally tracked down Bruce, and the vehement denials. We get into the specifics of that. A lot of people talking about that. The All-Star game last night, I think, was actually interesting with Steph doing his thing. That was incredible. I mean, he was that was fun to watch. And then all the politics that surround that. LeBron's now shouting out every other general manager on the planet except his own, even though he's the general manager of the team and gave away all the great young talent that's fantastic around the league right now. And he's stuck with Russ Westbrook, who he wanted, right? And his $47 million contract. He got some nerve, dog. So we'll get into some of that. There was a basketball yesterday. Juwan Howard and Chris Card with Michigan and Wisconsin. There was a brawl after it. Juwan Howard kind of threw a punch, an open-handed punch. Just ridiculous stuff. And of course, the fallout has been, very, very. It's hot on Twitter. I mean, people are going to Dickie V. And a lot of his colleagues are going at it. You were just telling me. We're going to get into that story as well. The Daytona 500 had a rookie winner in his 8th race, Austin Cindric, who I'll be honest with you, I've never freaking heard of. I don't follow NASCAR much anymore, but an interesting race nonetheless with the new generation cars. It's all kinds of good stuff to get into, and we'll begin, of course, with Tom Brady. A lot of developments over the weekend. I think it's probably best to read from Rick Stroud's column or report, I should say, from this weekend. And Bruce is pissed. And look, we've been talking about this for a couple weeks. And over the weekend, a guy, I guess this was on Friday, a guy that used to play with Brady and is now a sports talk host up in New England, Rick Ornberger, claimed the same things that we've been hearing. And you know what's weird about what he put in his tweet? That's like verbatim what I heard at the Super Bowl, like verbatim with the red pen, which I think is a little much, quite honest. And again, what we're talking about here, and I made this clear last week, I'm not reporting any of this. I'm just telling you what I've heard at the Combine, and we're going to go through this kind of step by step this morning at the Super Bowl, not the Combine. That's a whole other story that we'll be getting into later on. It's almost verbatim what I've heard. And, a couple of people, very good sources, said out there that, quote, all this is going to come out. And I think there's versions of all of it. I mean, was there a rift between Brady and Arians? I don't think, look, I think there was. I think there was. What's the size of the rift? Did it cause him to retire? No, it did not cause him to retire. I don't think that's the case. I think he really felt that pressure from his family and, from himself, I think is more appropriate. He wants to spend more time with his family and kids. There's a pull there. There's no doubt about it. We talked, a long time about this particular part of it. I think that's the overwhelming majority of it. To sit and say that there was no turmoil in this building is kind of foolhardy. I mean, come on. There's way to report by very, very reputable people. And I don't even think Bruce is saying that there was no turmoil. I don't think he's saying that in his quotes. I think he's saying I didn't take out a red pen and hack up the game plan coming in late. That's what he's saying, and I believe him. And it's funny because of what Ornberger. I have no idea who he is. I've ever met him. Hearing the same quotes that I'm hearing, and I think a lot of it's probably coming from Tom Brady Sr. If you go through the lineage of who's reporting this stuff. Girardi, Seth Wickersham, et cetera, maybe a lot of it's coming from Senior. And of course, a lot of this stuff gets, maybe like Bruce said in his quotes, he was coming in and adding to the game plan. Okay. That's, with a red pen. Is that striking things out? No, it's just adding to the game plan. So I think the truth is probably somewhere in there somewhere. But to suggest that, Brady and Arians were at each other's throats and that's why he retired. No, I'm not saying that. And I don't think that was the case. But go through some of these quotes that Rick Stroud got from him. And he said about Brady coming back, quote, that would shock me and let us know in time. And he did let us know in time to do the free agency like we've done in the past. That's why I don't see it happening. What really bothers Arians is a series of what he calls far-fetched claims that Brady relationship soured with the Bucs. Quote, it seems like there's one story every day now. Everybody is speculating he's going somewhere else. That doesn't bother me. This other bullshit, the relationship thing, that's so far-fetched. Apparently, while Arians was rehabbing the Achilles tendon, this is from Ornberger's report. In the early mornings, offense coordinator Byron Leftwich and Brady would work on the week's game plan. Arians would later come in and take the red pen to work they've done. The quarterback and the OC felt undermined. There was tension. Okay. That's what he reported. That's almost verbatim what I heard at the Super Bowl. And again, I'm not saying it's true, but this is obviously the story that's, quote, going around. And to that, Arians said, I mean, that's such bullshit. That's what pisses me off. I guess probably Byron could corroborate this too. Since arriving in Tampa Bay, Arians has allowed Leftwich to do all the game planning. This is a Stroud's article. And results have been pretty good, even dating back to 2019 when Winston was under center. The Bucs have ranked in the top 3 in total offense and scoring all 3 seasons under Arians. They were second in points per game this season. Brady also led the NFL in yards and touchdowns. Specifically, Arians said there was a couple of things in Ornberger's claims that he said were untrue. Arians is recovering from a partially torn Achilles, but so far has avoided surgery. He said he never received treatment for the injury in the morning. Quote, first of all, I don't rehab my Achilles in the morning. I will go over the game plans and add things, but I don't delete anything. I don't have to because they do such a good job. I'll see some things, add some things. It's an awesome collaboration, one of the best I've ever been around. Arians said he also never used a red pen to alter a game plan. I never heard of that one. He said, laughing, that was the best one ever. That's pretty graphic to not know what the F you're talking about. Love Arians. Heard some interesting blah, blah, blah. That's Orger's report. A couple other things in here. I think that's the gist of the quotes from Arians. Arians said he was advised not to speak out on all the speculation. I never understand. But Ornberger's claim that the coach altered the game plan and the 30-27 loss to the Rams in the NFC Division playoff game forced him to end his silence. Quote, that this one pissed me off too bad, he said. So look, you remember when Brady left New England, right? There was a report of
a rift.
There was a rift. And of course, all parties came out and said it's not true. It's completely made up. And now after all the books are written, guess what? There was a rift, and there may still be a rift. And you know what? So what? So what? I mean, these guys have huge egos. They're not always going to agree. I mean, this situation that Arians is basically describing is probably the same situation that other people have talked about. And, the idea that there is tension, well, Levante David said there was turmoil, not specifically about Arians and Brady. You can, kind of say what was going on in the locker room. We've heard, we have some audio from Mike Evans that we're going to play about the AB situation. And I think personally, it's the AB situation that probably was more divisive than anything, because obviously Brady wanted him and Arians didn't from the beginning.
I just feel like all these reports coming out and this so-called rift and everything, man, that's a wildly successful tenure with this great rift going on, is it not?
Wildly successful. Successful.
Hell, I mean, if that's what rift is, I mean, by all means, have a rift.
But listen, I mean, in corporate America, talk about it all the time. Conflict can be good when managed well. Mm-hmm. It creates energy. It gives you diverse thought when handled well. And clearly, for the most part, this has been handled well.
Yeah,
given the success.
Exactly. I mean, I think this does more. If there was something here, if there was disagreements, they clearly, when Sunday came or whenever they were playing, they were able to put it aside for the most part, right? And get through the season. I mean, it was a challenging season, right? With injuries, with Antonio Brown. I mean, there were so many other things going on, but, like I said, if they're still not injured, they're probably holding up the Lombardi today, maybe.
Yeah. If Antonio Brown, if Tristan Wirfs doesn't get injured, Antonio Brown doesn't storm off the field, then there's a good chance that they could, but let's not forget that Rams game. That was an ass whooping for 3 quarters.
It was.
I'm not here to say that if Antonio Brown and Wirfs played, the Bucs definitely win. I think that's unfair to the Rams, but clearly they would have had a hell of a much better shot. No doubt.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. But if that's my point, though. If this is really something, it says more they were able to put it aside and have a wildly successful tenure.
Right.
I don't look at it any different. Even if all this stuff comes out in the next weeks, months, it doesn't change any way I feel. It's a successful tenure with Tom Brady.
Yeah, no
I don't
question.
care, even if it was only for 2 years.
Now, the other thing that we're hearing is that this Antonio Brown situation was a source of disagreement between Brady and Arians, and that Brady wasn't necessarily really happy with the way Arians handled that. And we talked about this during the season. Why were the players not coming out and supporting Bruce Arians when he was under a lot of fire for the way that he, quote, handled it on the sideline? Now, from the very beginning, I called bullshit on the whole AB injured ankle thing and him and Arians trying to throw him back into the game. That was always bullshit. And you know what? Antonio Brown has never been held accountable for that. He lied about that, and everybody bought it. It was a whole juicy Smollett deal. And everybody, no, it wasn't. It wasn't about the injury. It never was about him not wanting to go back into the game. And again, I said this last week. I'll repeat it. If Tom Brady is pissed at Arians for the way he handled it, what was Arians supposed to do? When AB decided I'm not going back into the game, was going to pout like a little child. What was he supposed to? Oh, okay, Antonio, you let me know when you're ready to go back in, and then we'll make everything right just for you, and we'll get you the rock. Is that what Arians is supposed to do? If that's what Brady wanted him to do, sorry, Tom, you're wrong. You're wrong. You're not always right. You may have 7 rings, but you're not always right. The head coach has to think about the entire team and the culture, and to let one guy run roughshod over it and run the team and decide when he plays and when he doesn't, you can't have that. As much as you want him, Tom, you can't have that. And Tom knows that.
I think the only thing I could see from that vantage point is obviously Tom vouched for Antonio Brown against probably what Bruce Arians wanted to do, correct?
Right, absolutely, 100%.
And I think Tom, even without it maybe being directly said by Bruce, might be thinking, okay, now I'm going to be made to be the villain here in the locker room from Bruce because I'm the one who wanted him here and he just let us down. I mean, that's the only thing I could see from that.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that. There has to be.
Yeah.
When you support somebody or something, and it turns out to be wrong, you cling to it as long as you can. Masks. You cling to it because you want to be right. You've been so outwardly for something or for a guy, and even when they let you down, you have blinders on. It's part of it. It's human nature, so I get it. But if that's what was part of the rift, well, Tom's wrong.
Yeah, and that point he is, because like we said, it's one thing for Antonio Brown to mess up off the field, to do shenanigans off the field, but when you do it on the field like that, in a way that, frankly, I've never, ever seen. I don't know about you. Have you ever seen anything like that ever on a field?
Antonio Brown?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No,
when it's
never.
that blatant in the middle of a game where you're losing, by the way, late in the season.
Yeah, to a crappy team.
Yeah.
To a really crappy team.
Yeah. You can't blame Bruce for what he did.
Hell no, you can't blame it. And by the way, after he did it, what happened? The team started playing better. When they removed the problem, they started, and the distraction, they started playing better and came back and won the game. They were clearly motivated by it, in my opinion. So, yeah. All right, let's listen to Mike Evans. What is this from?
Yahoo Sports.
All right, Yahoo Sports got with Mike Evans, and he did shed some light on the AB situation.
I have to ask you about the whole Antonio Brown thing. What went down between you and him there? What went down with Antonio Brown? And, where are we at with this whole thing at this point?
I mean, what I remember is we were trying to get him to come back in the game. He was saying he wanted the rock, and I mean, rightfully so. We should have gotten the rock. I mean, he's an unbelievable player. We're like, yo, come in the game, AB. So we're asking him to come in the game. We're on offense. And I'm like, AB, big bro, come on, let's go in the game. They're calling for us because me and him are both on a pitch count because we're both coming back from injury. And so I'm trying to get him to come to the game, and he doesn't come. So I go back on the drive. I do my 2 plays. I come out, and then I see BA still trying to get him to come in the game, and they had like a falling out somehow. And AB goes off, and he's about to take his pads off. And I'm trying to grab his pads and tell him, like, yo, big bro, because me and him have a relationship. And I don't want him to go out like this. Like, we need him. So I'm telling him, yo, big bro, we need you. The season's almost over. If you don't want to be here the next year, you can leave. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, I just didn't want him to go out like that. So I'm telling him, please don't go out like this. And they're calling me to go back in the game. So I just left him alone, like, all right. And then second, third down comes, we score on that drive, but then on a TV timeout, we see that he was doing all that stuff, taking his pads off, doing jumping jacks. And I mean, it was unfortunate. I mean, I didn't know that it was going to go down like that. I mean, I thought, we was going to have a chance to go to the playoffs and probably repeat, and he would have definitely helped us.
Well, there you go. And he said, I think also in the interview, said he wanted the rock. He was yelling for the rock at halftime.
Yeah, you notice Mike Evans did not say anything about an injury there.
Yeah, there's nothing about an injury.
There was no injury.
How was that just glossed over? Because, all these people came out, Dominic Foxworth, all these guys coming out, pointing the finger at Arians. Oh, why are you putting a guy back in the game when he's injured? He's not injured. Look at the freaking tape. That pissed me off so much. He completely lied about the situation, and people were still siding with him. And this is I still said this during the week. Like on Thursday, when Bruce finally came out and was allowed to talk about it, he said, and nobody came to his defense. Brady didn't come to his defense, did he? Brady had a chance to answer the question. He did not. He did not call bullshit on the ankle injury when he knew it was bullshit. So what's up with that? And the fact that Mike Evans said, oh, listen, man, you can go somewhere else after the season. So, AB wasn't happy with the way he was treated either. And by the way, just because he's not happy and Brady's not happy doesn't mean they're right. I mean, this was always going to be the issue with AB. And frankly, you can make a bigger case about this being the problem than, Arians messing with game plans. Okay? And by the way, he's the head coach. He's allowed to have input on game plans, is he not?
Yeah, they act like Bruce Arians just had no jurisdiction to do anything with the game plan.
So listen, I mean, I know it's absolutely taboo to say this, but maybe this is a lot of Brady. And listen, Bruce is not going to come out and rip Brady, right? But there's a pattern here. Now, you can also say the pattern is winning Super Bowls. Look, we could play the blame game all day long. The bottom line is, Brady doesn't want to play here. It seems that's kind of true. That I think what Mike Greenberg said today, Mike Tannenbaum said today on Get Up, I'm going to try to play that in the second hour. is basically he said goodbye to Tampa in his goodbye. I mean, you could read that quote retirement as saying goodbye to Tampa, and everybody's speculating that he wants to go play on the West Coast. I don't know about that. The Colts might be a good fit as well. RG3 today said on Get Up that he thinks that would be a good fit for Brady. But the bottom line is the Bucs have to get compensation for him, and he's going to be put on the retired list. And if he wants to come off the retired list, they're going to trade him. Now, I think if they trade him, there's going to be more severe cap consequences because I think that accelerates his cap hit. So that's problematic as well. Anyway, so if he comes back to play, it's going to be with the Buccaneers, I think. And whatever situation, they had or tension that they had, the main source of tension has been relieved, and that's Antonio Brown. He's gone. So is there a way they can repair this, quote, repair it and put it back together? Hell yes. I think there is. Maybe that may be what they're trying to do right now. I don't know. I'm speculating. But they're also trying to move on and find out what's next. And, is it going to be Deshaun Watson? Is it going to be Jimmy Garoppolo? Is it going to be Russell Wilson? I don't know. The more the Seahawks seem entrenched on not rebuilding, then it's not going to be Russell Wilson, which I think is a huge mistake on their part. To me, whatever happened has got to be completely repairable. And by the way, these things happen in every team, on every team, highly competitive people who think they have the answers. And, and in Brady's case, he's probably right. He knows most of the time, but he's also very myopic from a quarterback standpoint.
Listen, you can go through every single winning organization, almost every championship winning team that had sustained success. Name every single one you want. The Patriots for 20 years, the Bulls of the 90s. There is always tension going on in the
Absolutely.
It's bound to happen. You have a lot of great players and a lot of great coaches and big egos put into one place, and everybody's got their hands in the pile, so to say.
Right.
It's going to happen. Okay.
Right.
That's why none of these reports shock me. If it's true, if it's not true, it doesn't really.
No.
Okay. You're fooling yourself if you think things are just going to go on and be all this perfect for this year. And maybe people are thinking that because I think Bruce said it going to this season. What did he say? It's going to be a lot easier this year, right?
Yeah.
He said everything's going to be just 10 times better. It's going to be smoother.
It wasn't.
And it wasn't.
It wasn't.
And I think that's why maybe we're looking at this a little bit closer, trying to figure out why.
And we also have to remember this overarching theme is that, only one team gets to claim success out of 32, right? Only one team gets to claim true success, and that's the Rams. So especially when Tom Brady's involved, if you don't win a Super Bowl, I mean, you can call it whatever you want, not successful. I think failure is a little much.
A little
strong. Not what we hoped for. However you want to couch it, the goal was not achieved.
No.
Now, are we here saying, oh, well, that was Arians' fault? Hell no. Are we here saying it was Brady's fault? No. Are we here saying it's AB's fault? Yeah, that was a lot his fault. But point being is that there's going to be turmoil. There's going to be differences of opinion. And when you don't win a championship, then everybody's going to have questions. And I think that's where we're at right now. But to sit here and blame Arians for Tom Brady's departure is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Even if there was, quote, a rift. And I believe there probably was some tension there, not only between him, but with other people in the organization. I mean, things did not go extremely well. It wasn't smooth. I mean, Levante David said it. We've had multiple reports. Now, what matters is, can it be repaired? Will he come back? I still think he's going to play. Don't you?
You think he's again, I feel like I'm holding out hope that maybe, and I'm aware that he hasn't actually said the word retire. We talked about it last week, I think. There hasn't been a press conference yet, and maybe it's because he hasn't decided what he wants to do. I don't. Right. But if he's going to go all these ways, and like I said, the essay of a statement that he had, the video that he had, I mean, I just can't. I find it so hard to believe that in the next month or so, he's just going to do a total 180 and be like, "Nope, I'm coming back now." It's hard for me to get there.
Yeah,
it is. Just knowing Tom Brady the way that we think we do based on public. I don't know.
We'll see. We'll see how it all turns out. But I think it is fascinating to chat about. And, one day Tom will write a book or so, or there'll be another man in the arena, and maybe we'll find out exactly what happened. But I don't think he's ever come clean on the rift in New England, has he? He's never really talked about it. Everybody else has. Everybody else has written books about it.
I don't think he's ever going to talk about it.
He's intimated a lot about it. But that's just going to remain secret. So, for me, if you're a Bucs fan, you hope against hope that something will wake up one day and this has all been figured out and repaired. He's on his way back, and we get to put the band back together for one more year. And I still think that's a possibility. I may be crazy, I may be nuts, but it just seems too good of an opportunity for him to pass up. It really does.
But I think I use this point too. I mean, it's hard for me to also see him, like I said, saying to Giselle, like, all right, I called it quits maybe like this, and I got your hopes up. Now here I go back for another year. It's just hard for me to get there.
Well, if you're reading the National Enquirer,
I'm not
clearly
reading the
there's
National
a rift
Enquirer.
there.
I'm not going through the public shopping aisles.
When you're waiting in line, you can't help it. Brady and Giselle, $650 million. It's the National Enquirer, after all. National Enquirer. I mean, that's pure trash. All right, let's get to the basketball, shall we? Okay, if you missed it, Juwan Howard, the head coach at Michigan, 6'7", 260 pounds, going up against what's his name?
Greg Card.
Guard, whatever. 5'7" old white dude was dumb enough to grab Juwan Howard. Like, there's a lot of things going on here. So in case you missed it, well, game was a 15-point game between Wisconsin and Michigan. Wisconsin winning late in the game. Michigan still pressing with like 15 seconds left, which I'm not really sure what's going on there when you're down 15. So then there's a foul or somebody's shoes come off, and Card call timeout with 4 seconds left to go?
Yes.
14?
Yes.
What are you doing? And he's like, there's a rule that you get extra 10 seconds. And it's how much? 10 seconds left on the clock? Yeah. Whatever. The game's freaking over. Like, I'm not even sure why we're talking about this. But then, so they go through the handshake line, and Juwan Howard is pissed about the timeout, clearly. And he's walking up to the coach, and you can see there's tension there. And then he says something. Juwan says something to him like, I didn't like this, blah, blah, blah. And then Greg Card, instead of continuing to walk and maybe addressing it later, grabs Juwan Howard's bad, bro. You don't grab another grown-ass man. You don't. And in the climate we're in that situation, the optics are really bad. You don't do it. To me, that's the timeout might have been the instigator. And then that part is not good at all. That's bad. By the way, I'm not taking sides here. I'm just pointing out what I think was misjudgments on a lot of people's part. So then things get heated, and now there's pushing and shoving, blah, 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 blah. And then Juwan Howard, while being restrained, reaches out over the top with his 7-foot wingspan and hits one of the other coaches in the face with an open hand. It's like a half punch, half slap. And then all hell breaks loose, because when your players see you, trying to hit somebody, what are they going to do? They're going to do the same damn thing. So it's a melee on the court. Nobody seriously injured, thankfully. But that's just disgusting. The whole thing is disgusting. I think there's blame all the way to go around on so many people. Why can't we just be adults? This is just ridiculous.
Here's my problem with it. If the roles were reversed and these were two players that this happened with on Wisconsin and Michigan, what would be the narrative in the headlines today?
Players need to be suspended.
Right?
Yeah.
Suspended / kicked off the team would probably be where most people are going, right?
Probably, yeah.
Right? And they're going to say how you're immature. You're going to be forever labeled like that. If you had NBA aspirations, all these things. And yet,
think back to LeGarrette Blount.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but when we throw this is what I'm seeing on Twitter. That's why I'm bringing it up.
I think.
Yeah, he did.
Not good.
But so when I see this on Twitter, where people are calling for Juwan Howard to be suspended or fired, why is that such a strong take on this?
I think he should be suspended. He should not be fired.
Granted, I don't think he should be fired. I get that. I'm just saying, if it was a player, that's what people would say.
Yeah, which is wrong.
Which is probably
wrong. And I've
wrong.
always been against that. You can't You kick a player off a team like that. That's just wrong. You need to be suspended, and it needs to be a serious suspension.
And I didn't really like on Howard. He just didn't express any like apology for it.
No remorse.
He doubled down on what he did.
Yeah.
So I mean that makes him look even worse in my opinion.
Yeah. Let's listen to the sound from both of these guys, and we can discuss further because there's a lot of people weighing in on this, and it's just an interesting dynamic right now.
Yeah, we'll start with Greg Gard here explaining why he called the timeout.
Okay.
Greg, congratulations on the win. Before we talk about the performance, take us through what happened after the game in your eyes.
Well, apparently he didn't like that I called the timeout to reset the 10-second call because we only had 4 seconds to get the ball over half court. And I didn't want to put my backups. I had all my bench guys in the game. I didn't want to put them in that position of scrambling with only 4 seconds. So I took a timeout, and it got us a new 10 seconds and helped them get organized and get the ball in. And he did not like that when he came through the handshake line. So I'll leave it at that, and the tape will show the rest.
Come on, man. I get it from a coaching standpoint, but it's disrespectful. It's disrespectful. It's a big game. I don't know. It's just disrespectful. All right, let's listen to Juwan.
With our coach, never that because of that timeout, and someone to touch me, and I think that was very uncalled for him to touch me as we were verbalizing and communicating with one another. So that's what ended up happening. That's what escalated.
He's right. Greg Gard has no reason to grab another man like that. Sorry. You want to explain yourself, call him later, send him a text, go, when you get back to the locker rooms, these guys know how this is handled. You don't do it out in the middle of the court. There's no need for that. And you don't grab another man. You don't do it. And you don't take a punch. You don't swing. You as the freaking coach of the team.
Yeah.
You don't swing at somebody. For God's sakes.
It's hilarious to me. Like, I think, granted, the timeout's ridiculous in that moment, but are we really going to start touching each other and hitting each other over a timeout?
No, come on.
Really?
No, it escalated. It wasn't over the timeout. It was because you grabbed me.
And that's my point, though. Why are we grabbing people?
Right. You shouldn't be grabbing people. You want to explain it? Go through. And by the way, this idea that, let's stop the handshake line. Are you serious? This is what we do. We dumb everything down. We lower the standards for everything because one person or two people can't act like adults. We're going to scrub the whole sportsmanship thing of shaking hands after we're done because two people in one instance couldn't act like adults.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. That's where we're going
with
this?
Have you ever seen any other handshake line incidents? I don't recall any.
There have been some. Yeah.
I'm sure it's bound to happen, but again, it doesn't happen often.
But there's a reason for the handshake line. All right. And this is sometimes what gets clouded in sports where, these sports are on TV. There's a lot of money involved. I get it. It's still a game. And we forget this from time to time. It's still a game. It doesn't matter who wins and loses in the great scheme of things. You're still going to be making $2 million, whatever, these coaches are making, ridiculous salaries that they make. Okay. You're still going to be, your family's going to be fine. Nobody's going to jail. It's a game. You can get upset. I get it, but keep it in perspective, bro. It's done. You competed hard. You look the other man in the eye or woman and you shake their hand and say, good game. And you always should have that spirit of sportsmanship while playing. As competitive as you should be, there's a line. You don't cross it. You don't cross that line. And I know sometimes it can be hard. Playing high school sports and in football, basketball, whatever. It's contact sport. Emotions get high. I get it. But you have to control your emotions. You can't just start swinging at people. That's uncivilized. We can't have that. You can't be grabbing people. That's not okay.
And you're setting a bad example for your players too.
Yes.
Who are right there in the thick of things. And you know what happens? And those players ended up having to get involved, right? And it could have gone even worse. I mean, the players could have started throwing their own hands at each other.
Yeah.
When they did. And they shouldn't have to be a part of that because it was nothing they were upset about, I don't think.
No.
That was a conflict between two coaches.
It's just an escalation.
And two coaches like that who are older, experienced, have been in the game a long time.
Come on, guys.
You can't do that. You got cameras watching, it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but now this is the second incident for Juwan Howard. when he went after Mark Turgeon last year in Maryland. So that's problematic. That's problematic.
Yeah, and it's a coach too. You gotta take it to where Michigan is right now. I mean, they were preseason number 6. They're not making the tournament this year. I mean, I get it. Emotions boiling over late in the season. You understand you're not getting there. A coach just obviously pissed you off at the end. I get all that. Okay, it doesn't give you free reign for both of y'all to start doing that.
Again, be adults.
It's that easy.
Adults.
It's that easy.
Yeah, and now Dickie V and
Dickie V's catching strays, on Twitter.
What's going on with that? What did he say that was so horrible?
Dickie V put out about 4 or 5 strong tweets about Juwan Howard specifically.
You want to read them?
Yeah, I'll pull them up here. Basically, like telling Michigan to take action against Juwan Howard.
Yeah, I heard some guys on Get Up this morning say he should be suspended for the rest of the season and the postseason if he has a postseason. I don't know. I don't get that.
Yeah, and he called out Juwan Howard right here after the game. He said, "Please, Juwan, defend yourself from a guy half your size who wanted to explain why he called an absurd timeout with 15 seconds. Say what you want, but be a real man and admit your action representing one of the great state universities was inexcusable."
That was towards Juwan.
That was towards Juwan Howard,
Yeah.
yes. And he had others here. I won't
read another one.
Read another one.
We got 2 hours, bro. Go ahead.
He said, "It's sad thinking about what I watched in that handshake line as the coach of a great university of UM could not control his temper and nearly set off a full-blown riot. Inexcusable behavior by Juwan Howard must lead to severe punishment. UM president and AD should take action now."
Did he say anything about what Greg Carr did?
He did not know.
Well, that's not fair. I didn't go through all his tweets, but that's an important part of it. I mean, you can't.
There was nothing really about Greg Gard, and then Desmond Howard, obviously UM alum, and at ESPN, he tweeted back saying that he believes that somebody is writing these tweets for Dickie V because he can't see Dickie V saying this kind of stuff because he thought he was pretty strong on this.
It did seem a little strong, but it is inexcusable. It's inexcusable for him to do that.
But there's a lot of people that feel the way Dickie V has. I mean, Seth Greenberg felt the same way.
Yeah.
All these basketball media members have felt the same way. And I understand if you feel that Greg Gard should get a lot of the blame here, which we obviously agree on that.
Yes.
I understand, but let's not act like saying that Juwan Howard should get punishment is so out of left field. I don't understand that. At the end of the day, you know what we all saw? We saw a coach open hand hit somebody in the face.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not good.
And like I said, if it was a player, he would have been suspended right after the game.
And unfortunately, it's the unsaid thing that nobody wants to say. This because we're so racially divided that this becomes part of it. And it should not. It should absolutely not in any way, shape, or form. But it does become part of people choosing sides, and it looks ugly. It looks ugly because it shouldn't be any part. It should have nothing to do with race whatsoever. Both coaches were in the wrong. They both need to be punished. I think Juwan Howard will get more than Greg Card will because he swung at somebody. But I think also he should be suspended for a time as well. To me, it feels like 5 games for Juwan and 2 games for Card. That's what it kind of feels like for me.
I think at this point, given where Michigan is, if he was suspended for the season, I wouldn't hate it. I'll put it like
But
that.
I will say this, as part of Juwan's censure here, there needs to be a 3 strikes and you're out deal here.
Probably,
This is 2 violent outbursts in public at other coaches. Okay. Another one and you're done. Like that should be expressed. So there's no gray area. Okay. That next time this happens, it's inexcusable. We can't have that. And I think that's fair. That should be part of any suspension here. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to get into the All-Star game and some interesting comments from LeBron James. Daytona was interesting. We'll talk about that. There's a big flap about the combine, and rightfully so. And Annie Agar getting canceled. One of Nick's favorite comedians getting canceled. We'll tell you why next. Hey, folks, let me tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center, a very different kind of approach to primary care. Personalized preventative medicine, not a one-pill-fits-all mentality. Christopher Lugo and his experienced medical staff are proactive in looking at issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle. Rather than the impersonal rushed approach, you will be the only patient and will have our full attention. That's new. Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. Bay Area Modern Medical Centers are experts in anti-aging regenerative medicine that optimizes your body's performance in many areas. So call for an appointment to get started on a journey back to full health and a happy life with a new, modern way of healthcare. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. JP here for my friend, attorney Christopher Palermo. If you are having issues with a claim on your homeowner's insurance from a sinkhole, storm damage, water intrusion, defective stucco, and construction defects, or any other issue, Christopher is your man. These big insurance companies didn't get rich paying out what you deserve. Chris founded his practice in 2009 with a passion to help all Floridians with disputes where they were forced to take on the powerful and needed a champion in their corner. Chris wants to make sure you will receive the most aggressive and compassionate representations. He has recovered millions in settlements on behalf of his clients facing defective stucco damage and other construction issues. So call Chris, mention the JP Show, and he will give you a free consultation. That's 813-221-5636 or go to PalermoPA.com. He's a fifth-generation Tampanian graduate of Jesuit High School and the University of Florida, and he cares deeply about you and the community. That's 221-5636 or PalermoPA.com. Homeowners, listen up. Property values have risen in the Tampa Bay area to record levels, some up to 24% in 1 year. It's time to refinance your home and pull out the equity before rates go through the roof. Call my man Scott Fitzgerald at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Scott believes interest rates will be over 5 very soon due to the volatile economy and inflation, but you can still lock in the mid-3s, but not for long. This means you can save tens of thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. Now, Scott is an independent broker, so he can shop your mortgage around for the best rates, and he will pay for your appraisal if you mention you heard it here on the JP Show. That's a $500 to $700 value. Scott does not charge the huge upfront fees like the big banks do. In this uncertain economy and political climate, better to have cash in hand now. So call Scott at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. The PGA Tour's Valspar Championship is back in March in 2022, March 14th through the 20th, right in the middle of the best weather of the year and the last stop on the Florida swing. The Valspar has become one of the must-do events on the Tampa Bay sports and social calendar, so get your best tickets before they sell out. The game's biggest stars love the Copperhead course in Innisbrook. Last year, we saw Dustin Johnson, Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth. Wow, the crowds, and another star-studded field is expected again this year. Sam Burns took the title and will defend again at the Copperhead. This will be a full tournament with the return of Valspar Live, our free Saturday concert featuring Chris Young and Big and Rich, and other amenities including Chameleon Cove, the Hooters Owl's Nest, the Publix Chill Lounge, and other hospitality venues. Go to ValsparChampionship.com for tickets. The best premium hospitality areas will sell out, so don't wait. That's ValsparChampionship.com.
Are you selling your home or refinancing? Jay here for Greenleaf Title. You choose the title company, not the realtor, and it makes a difference. You want a reputable company that will make sure your title is safe and secure. There are a lot of scammers out there right now, so go with a trusted company like Greenleaf Title. Plus, they will close anywhere, folks, and they will send a limo to pick you up to come to the closing. Yep, the great JP Limo Closing is back. All you got to do is give them a call at 727-258-6005 or go to greenleaftitle.com. We'll set up the limo for you. They'll come pick you up. Heck, we even picked up one couple, took them to Black Rock Restaurant, one of our favorite advertisers, and then to the closing. That's how they do it at Greenleaf Title. Great service. We'll close anywhere. The lowest fees in the business. 727-258-6005 or go to greenleaftitle.com. That's greenleaftitle.com.
Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. If you're feeling run down, your workout sucks, or your sexual libido is not what it used to be, check out Bay Area Modern Medical Center. That happened to me a few years ago, and I found out I had the testosterone level of a second-grade girl. That's not good. Our food, environment, and stress can cause your T levels to drop. Bay Area Modern Medical Center can help, and they are different. They offer customized hormone replacement for both men and women. Christopher Lugo and his medical staff can help you restore your energy, your sex drive, and your feelings of well-being. It was a total game changer for me. I have way more energy, lost 30 pounds, and I'm performing better in all areas of my life. Nobody wants to talk about sexual health, but it's key to a balanced life. We offer discreet treatments with real-world results. So if you're suffering from a lack of interest in sex, ED, or lack of sexual stamina, Dr. Lugo and his staff can help. Take your health care to the next level at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show with JP on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, presented by the law offices of Christopher Palermo. We appreciate him being our title sponsor, fighting for your rights and protecting your home in sinkhole, hurricane, roof damage, defective stucco, and construction defects, and to fight the builders as well as the big insurance companies. Make sure you get what you deserve. Let Chris Palermo fight those folks for you, handling both residential and commercial cases. Call him at 813-221-5636 or PalermoPA.com for a free consultation. All right, we have another report. This one from Albert Breer now hitting the airwaves on Twitter. What do we have here? This one saying there were things about the Buccaneers organization that Brady didn't like.
Yeah, that frustrated him before he retired. Frustrated him was the word. But he did kind of specify it could be natural considering the tight ship that he came from with New England to Tampa. And the change there, which is basically what we've been saying, correct?
Right. Absolutely. 100%. This is, again, I think people want to say, oh, well, BA is the reason. No, that's not what I'm saying.
He did say that he hasn't heard any direct issue with Bruce Arians himself.
Obviously, Bruce Arians is the leader. He's the coach. He's running the ship. And, maybe Brady didn't like everything that was going on. But again, he can't have it both ways. I mean, he loved the being out of the autocratic, no fun atmosphere of New England. And I think that helped him play better here and have, more energy to continue playing and be excited about playing again. So that's part of what Bruce Arians gave you and the Buccaneers organization gave you. And then you say, well, it's not as buttoned up as it should. Well, you can't really have it both ways.
No.
And the AB situation is a perfect example of that.
And like I've said, though, all the time, I feel like the way Tom Brady has acted in the public when he was with the Bucs, I mean, that had to have rubbed off on the whole loosey-goosey thing, right?
Right.
I mean, he kind of put that out there, we were going to be loose, but at the same time, we were going to be prepared when Sunday came. Mm-hmm. That's the way I took it. But, I mean, regardless how you interpret what Albert Breer said, obviously, it's just a little nugget. It's not everything. He said things, which, nobody ever specifies
what the things are.
What the things are. I don't know if that's by design. It might be. You could break it down every way you want, but I think it's notable because it's not coming from, Rich Ornberger, who everybody wants to discredit, and I understand that. It's not coming from just random people. This is Albert Breer.
Again, you're not going to get anybody to go on the record about this stuff. Yeah. You're just not. And there'll be denials, like Bruce and whatnot. So I think that it's something in the middle there. Again, did this cause Brady to retire? Was it part of it? Yeah, I think it was part of it. You just get older, trust me on this, and you're less tolerable about things. You don't suffer idiots very well. I don't mean that specifically about anybody in the organization. It's just you want everything your way, especially when you've had the success that Brady has had. But I'm here to tell you, collaboration is what brings success, not just autocratic. One opinion is always right. That's just not a good way to run any organization. And I think, that Brady's frustrations may be, boiling over. He probably, told his dad some things who then may have mentioned it to some reporters or what have you, or other dads. Guys talk, dads like to talk, believe it or not. They really, they do. And I think this is where this is coming from. But again, it's all about moving forward. Is there an avenue for Brady to come back if some of his, if his issues are redressed here? Well, maybe. But the Bucs have to actually move on like he's not going to be coming back. It puts him in a very a tough place, to be quite honest. I think they'd rather know definitively what the hell's going on. I think they would have rather him come back for one more year, which I think everybody thought he was. I mean, look, I don't think it's fair to start pointing fingers of blame because we don't know exactly what was going on in there. I mean, does it shock anybody that you got a guy like Brady and his ego and a young guy like Byron Leftwich who are working on the game plan every week, and then dad comes in and is like, hey, let's add this, let's add this, let's add this. What happens to when dad walks out of the room? What do the kids do? They roll their eyes, right? That's what they do. That's what my kids do, right? But sometimes dad's wisdom is pretty good. So did Brady and Leftwich roll their eyes a few times? I'm sure they did. I'm quite sure they did. Does that mean it's all broken? No, it doesn't mean it's all broken. It means that's collaboration. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's bad. I will say this, and we've said it ad nauseum. I didn't love the game plan against the Rams.
No, there's plenty of times throughout the season where we questioned the game plan, right?
Yeah,
we would say like, why are you running it here?
Where were the screens?
Where creativity, rather.
Where's the creativity? Where was the no huddle? Where was the up tempo offense that worked so good against Philadelphia, against a team that didn't have a lot of depth, had stars in the Rams, but not a lot of depth?
I mean, you can keep going. Where was Scotty Miller for the entire season?
Yeah, I mean, we could go on and on about certain things, but again, I'll defer to a 7-time world champion and a 2-time coach of the year that they know what they're doing. Were they perfect? No. Of course, unless you won the Super Bowl, you weren't perfect. But the team. Look at what happened to Buffalo. I mean, Josh Allen could say I was absolutely perfect, and I didn't even get past into the second round. I mean, that's tough. That's tough. So it's football. It's not going to work out perfectly all the time. All right. Did you get a chance to watch any of the All-Star game last night? Well, I watched a little bit and the highlights as well.
I watched majority of it, and I was pretty entertained. Okay, to my surprise.
Yeah, I was too. Just because Steph was dropping threes from the logo and half court and everything else.
Yeah, I mean that was just crazy. That was crazy. He's pulling up from like 45 feet, damn near half court, and sinking them every time. He's turning around after he hit him. I mean. Greatest shooter on the planet. We already know that.
Oh, I don't know.
He made that. Who are you debating?
I have to. I'm going to make sure I look this girl up. Have you seen this girl playing college basketball?
I have not. No.
For Iowa, Caitlin Clark.
I've heard the name.
Have you not seen her play?
No. You're going to tell me she's a better shooter than Curry, though?
No, not better than Curry. But I'll show you some highlights in the break, and you're going to go, what the F? This chick will pull up she'll pull up from the logo and drain them. She played a game the other night. I think she hit some ridiculous amount, maybe 15 threes, where they were putting 3 and 4 on her, and they still couldn't stop her. She was just dropping them right and left. This girl is freaking unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it in college basketball, male or female. I mean, well, maybe Del Curry back in the day, his dad, I watched him play live, and he could shoot from the he'd come over to where we were, me and Deckerhoff on the side in our little broadcast booth and wink at us, turn and drop like 4 in a row. I mean, just 40 feet. He was doing it before his son was doing it. That's where he got it. But this girl's incredible. Anyway, so and then they give it up to LeBron for the last. I mean, I hate to say this, but that was a nice finish. They did the target score. They needed a 2. He did a nice little fadeaway with Embiid running at him and some other guy.
Levine and Embiid are right on him, and LeBron's just like one leg in the air rather, and just a little fadeaway in Cleveland. In front
where
of,
he said he's gonna. Yeah, I can come back here
in front of Michael Jordan and everybody.
Man, this was for you. I mean, it was entertaining.
I know. I found it very entertaining when they start playing defense like the last 5 minutes.
That's interesting.
That's when it gets really good.
Yeah, Embiid got a shot blocked.
Yeah,
a shot block.
Yeah, I thought it was perfect. And you didn't see the halftime.
I did not.
The halftime was like 40 minutes long, but they were introducing the entire NBA 75 team, and every who's who on that list was there for the most part,
including John Stockton.
John Stockton was there, yes.
Everybody lost their mind. Not wearing a mask. Yes, no one else is wearing a mask either.
Yeah, he was there. But But yeah, it was really cool. Michael Jordan, I don't think he was supposed to be there. Michael Jordan, because he was in Daytona.
Right.
Because he's a team owner, right?
Right.
So he got on his plane and he made it in time, and he looked like the life of the entire event. He was running around, hugging guys, smiling. He's challenging Magic Johnson to a one-on-one right there on the spot. So the friendly rivalry hasn't gone away.
By the way, they're starting a one-on-one league.
I think they are, yeah.
Yeah. I always wondered why we didn't have that. I'd be interested.
Why
in
is that not at the skills competition?
Right? Like we would say, don't you always say, man, I like to see Durant, LeBron go one-on-one.
Right? The skills competition could use that.
Yeah. You're saying the dunk contest was anticlimactic at best?
I'll just say it. It was shit.
It was awful.
It was awful.
So I didn't watch it, but I watched some of the highlights.
I mean,
dude after dude, not even getting dunks off.
I mean, the dunks they had, it was so weak, man. I mean, Shaq looked like he was about to he was about snoozing there in his judging seat. Dwayne Wade said the whole event was a 6. He said that on TV.
A 6?
A 6, which is probably generous.
Yeah.
You got guys named Juan Toscano Anderson in the final. I mean, he ain't drawing me in.
Yeah.
And then Obi Toppin looking awkward with all his dunks. I mean, wins the whole thing. They got it. The problem is they've done every dunk you could probably do, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what else is left to do.
Well, yeah, what can they do? I mean, creativity be damned. I mean, there's not much left.
I want to see John Morant in there, though.
Yeah.
John Morant is...
Well, that's what they're saying. Is if you're going to do it, let's get the big names in it.
Nobody wants to do it anymore.
Well, because it's got a stigma to it. Because LeBron never did it. It's like, well, if I do it, then I can't, then I'm below LeBron. That's true. That's true. It's kind of like Jack Nicklaus in the Champions Tour. Jack never played a regular Champions Tour. He kind of looked down his nose at it, and for whatever reason, he's Jack Nicklaus. Do whatever the hell he wants. Same with LeBron, but it does create a feeling of it's that's where that's not where the true stars go. That's for the role players who are just kind of good dunkers. That's that. Let's just be honest. I mean, the days of Vince Carter and the great players doing this are gone. And it was maybe it was LeBron that changed that. I don't know. Did Jordan?
He did it.
He did it, right?
It's for the iconic, from the free throw line.
And so when did it change? When did it become the also-rans? Was it because LeBron never did it?
I mean, it's recent. Go back 5 years ago. I know at the time he wasn't what he is now, an all-star, but Zach LaVine was in there, and him and Aaron Gordon, which is probably the last great dunk contest you're ever going to have.
Right.
But since those guys, you've had Derrick Jones Jr. has been winning it.
Right.
All these guys that, a lot of people have never heard of, or they don't even get playing. That's my thing. A lot of these guys that compete, they don't even play on the court.
Right.
They actually are not that good at basketball. They just dunk. And it's just a total disconnect.
Well, that's what it's kind of become. And I don't know whose fault that is, but if you're going to make it interesting, you're going to have to get the big names in it. That's all there is to it. So a couple of, we don't do a lot of NBA on this, but I think it's noteworthy that LeBron is pointing the finger at and praising all these other GMs, Les Snead and all these other guys, and just throwing Rob Pelinka under the bus because he didn't get the John Wall trade done. And I heard something this morning. It was evidently Pelinka wouldn't give up a 2027 first round pick to get John Wall.
This report just
I mean, if that's the case, it's kind of stupid.
No, the best one was that they said that Clutch Sports has beef now with Rob Pelinka over this. I don't give a damn what Clutch Sports
when did you start running the NBA?
I don't. That's what I'm saying. It's an agent. It's an agency. I don't care what they think about the GM. That's where's the line here?
But
where's the line?
Wasn't LeBron basically the one that said, let's go all in to get AD and let's give away all our great young players, which they did. And now these guys are out there playing well, these former Lakers. And, LeBron is sitting on, with a bunch of old ass guys that can't stay healthy or can't play anymore. That's on him.
It's as easy as this. LeBron has been put in, and I'm not hating on him when I say this. He's been very successful doing it. Okay. But I'm just saying Father Time catches up to everybody.
That's right.
Okay. And LeBron is naive to think that everybody around him that grew up playing his era, so to say, is going to play like him at 37 years old.
Not happening.
Trevor Ariza ain't doing that.
Nope.
Carmelo Anthony ain't doing that.
Nope.
Dwight Howard shouldn't be in the league right now.
Nope.
Okay. You cannot trout out the same wash guys year after year after year.
Not when you got too many young, healthy, great players.
And I'm already waiting for it because I know J.R. Smith is probably going to sign with them probably next month, the next few weeks.
Isn't he busy in the Division II golf?
He's got his head is buried in books right now. He's getting straight A's in college.
Good for him.
Which is great to see, by the way.
Playing golf and getting attacked by Yellow Jackets.
Yeah.
So that was, I think, was an interesting All-Star. But for LeBron to, go off on that. And by the way, one of the reasons your team sucks is because you're not playing a lot. AD's not playing a lot, and the guys that you gave up, you don't have any role players. This is the thing about basketball that a lot of people don't seem to get. I know the NBA is driven by stars. I get it, but you can't win with just a couple of stars, and you can't win with 3 stars. You got to have role players. You've got to have guys that are going to play defense, get rebounds, set picks, do all that stuff to win. It's not, you just can't throw 3 guys out there that can score, don't want to play any defense, and are selfish. It doesn't work that way.
And when
you're going to get your ass kicked.
And here's the thing, though. Injuries are happening more and more common in the NBA now with these stars. And you know
why? Because they're old.
Yeah. But you look at the Nets. The Nets are a great example. Everybody said, oh, they're going to win all these championships. They
Not
played.
me.
You know how many games that big 3 played together?
16.
16.
That's it.
That's it. When one gets injured, the whole operation goes away.
Right.
Now Anthony Davis is out for what? 4 weeks
4
minimum?
weeks. Yep.
Minimum, probably. He probably won't be back for the end of the
They're not even
season.
making the playoffs, are they?
They're
Lakers.
the 8th seed right now, I think. They're struggling to stay in that 8th seed.
Yeah. They might have to play in.
Yeah. And you're seeing it. We talked about it. The Suns, who have done it the right way.
Yep.
The Bucks.
The Jazz.
The Heat. The Jazz. The Grizzlies.
The Grizzlies.
I mean, all the Celtics are now on a run. All these teams that drafted, developed, maybe added a nice star here and there to it. That's kind of, to me, where the NBA is going now.
And I like it.
I
like
love it. It's created a lot more like parity.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Everybody was like, oh, you can't put all these stars together. It's not fair. I'm like, no, I'm okay with it. Let's watch and see where this goes. Yes, it worked in Miami. It did. But don't forget, Pat Riley was running that show. And he made sure that they had the Udonis Haslams, right? They made sure that they had all those other role players who could complete the team.
I mean, Ray Allen as a veteran that can still shoot. Mario Chalmers. I mean,
and look how those guys pitched in to win.
Yeah.
I mean, Ray Allen made the biggest shot.
Yeah.
And throw that on Pelinka or LeBron or
that's
whomever.
That's the thing, though. When you're going to get a team around LeBron, you got to add shooters all around him because he loves to make those great passes to the outside. Who on the Lakers is shooting the rock right now? Who? I mean, Russ Westbrook tries.
No,
he can't do that.
No, never been a shooter. Never been a shooter. All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, I want to get into a little bit of the Daytona 500 yesterday. That was an interesting one for the first time in a while. And there is a would-be boycott of the combine, the NFL combine. Oh, my God. Don't take my combine away. I mean, I got to see these shuttle runs. I got to see this. The standing broad jump? Oh, my God, I got to have that. What's next? Homeowners, listen up. Property values have risen in the Tampa Bay area to record levels, some up to 24% in 1 year. It's time to finance your home and pull out the equity before rates go through the roof. Call my man Scott Fitzgerald at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Scott believes interest rates will be over 5 very soon due to the volatile economy and inflation, but you can still lock in the mid-3s, but not for long. This means you can save tens of thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. Now, Scott is an independent broker, so he can shop your mortgage around for the best rates, and he will pay for your appraisal if you mention you heard it here on the JP Show. That's a $500 to $700 value. Scott does not charge the huge upfront fees like the big banks do. In this uncertain economy and political climate, better to have cash in hand now. So call Scott at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Hey, folks, let me tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center, a very different kind of approach to primary care. Personalized preventative medicine, not a one-pill-fits-all mentality. Christopher Lugo and his experienced medical staff are proactive in looking at issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle. Rather than the impersonal, rushed approach, you will be the only patient and will have our full attention. That's new. Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. Bay Area Modern Medical Centers are experts in anti-aging regenerative medicine that optimizes your body's performance in many areas. So call for an appointment to get started on a journey back to full health and a happy life with a new, modern way of healthcare. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com.
JP here for my friend, attorney Christopher Palermo. If you are having issues with a claim on your homeowner's insurance from a sinkhole, storm damage, water intrusion, defective stucco, and construction defects, or any other issue, Christopher is your man. These big insurance companies didn't get rich paying out what you deserve. Chris founded his practice in 2009 with a passion to help all Floridians with disputes where they were forced to take on the powerful and needed a champion in their corner. Chris wants to make sure you will receive the most aggressive and compassionate representations. He has recovered millions in settlements on behalf of his clients facing defective stucco damage and other construction issues. So call Chris, mention the JP Show, and he will give you a free consultation. That's 813-221-5636, or go to PalermoPA.com. He's a fifth-generation Tampanian, graduate of Jesuit High School and the University of Florida, and he cares deeply about you and the community. That's 221-5636 or PalermoPA.com. The PGA Tour's Valspar Championship is back in March in 2022, March 14th through the 20th, right in the middle of the best weather of the year and the last stop on the Florida swing. The Valspar has become one of the must-do events on the Tampa Bay sports and social calendar, so get your best tickets before they sell out. The game's biggest stars love the Copperhead course at Innisbrook. Last year, we saw Dustin Johnson, Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth. Wow, the crowds, and another star-studded field is expected again this year. Sam Burns took the title and will defend again at the Copperhead. This will be a full tournament with the return of Valspar Live, our free Saturday concert featuring Chris Young and Big and Rich, and other amenities, including Chameleon Cove, the Hooters Owl's Nest, the Publix Chill Lounge, and other hospitality venues. Go to ValsparChampionship.com for tickets. The best premium hospitality areas will sell out, so don't wait. That's ValsparChampionship.com. Well, it's never been more important to support each other and support local businesses like Italiano Insurance that has been around for over 60 years, serving our community with great customer service and also giving back to our locals in need. Their Metropolitan Ministries Holiday Food Drive was another tremendous success this year. Why call a 1-800 number when you can call your trusted neighbors at Italiano Insurance who will save you money? In Boca Grande, 941-964-0400. That's 941-964-0400.
Cryptocurrency is all the rage today. The market cap for the industry is now over $1 trillion. And you read about people making millions of dollars, right? You want to get in, but have no idea what to do? Or maybe you dabbled a bit and you want to unlock the real money-making opportunities and don't know how to do it. There are over 10,000 tokens and thousands of decentralized finance exchanges to navigate. So what do? You go to DeFiLava.com. The folks at DeFiLava.com are in Tampa Bay, and they work with you directly to set up custom accounts, answer all your questions, and provide market analysis. Decentralized finance and cryptocurrencies are here to stay and will change the financial markets as we know them. Get in the game. Get with the experts at DeFiLava.com and tell them JP sent you and get their free 2022 crypto market forecast today at DeFiLava.com. Don't get left behind, folks. Make some money at DeFiLava.com.
Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. If you're feeling run down, your workout sucks, or your sexual libido is not what it used to be, check out Bay Area Modern Medical Center. That happened to me a few years ago, and I found out I had the testosterone level of a second-grade girl. That's not good. Our food, environment, and stress can cause your T levels to drop. Bay Area Modern Medical Center can help, and they are different. They offer customized hormone replacement for both men and women. Christopher Lugo and medical staff can help you restore your energy, your sex drive, and your feelings of well-being. It was a total game changer for me. I have way more energy, lost 30 pounds, and I'm performing better in all areas of my life. Nobody wants to talk about sexual health, but it's key to a balanced life. We offer discreet treatments with real-world results. So if you're suffering from a lack of interest in sex, ED, or lack of sexual stamina, Dr. Lugo and his staff can help. Take your health care to the next level at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back. I was just reviewing the final lap there at Daytona. What a finish there was yesterday. That was something else. All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the law offices
of Christopher Palermo. Our second hour is brought to you by Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Christopher Lugo and his medical team over there will hook you up. A very different kind of approach to primary care, personalized preventative medicine, not a one-size-fits-all mentality. Actually had a chance to have lunch with Christopher the other day. Fascinating man, works with the military a lot. Tremendous doctor, very, very knowledgeable on COVID and testosterone replacement. We had a great conversation. We're going to bring him on this week, so you guys definitely want to tune into that. He's got so when you talk about modern medicine these days, I mean, there's kind of this old Western way of medicine that they've taught for many, many years, and then there's this whole new wave of modern medicine with guys that are testosterone replacement, hormone therapy, lot of natural healing remedies, exercise, diet, all these things, very, I'm not anti-pharma, but it's the natural things that are going to help your body repair itself and stay younger longer, doing the right things. There's so many things that we do wrong in terms of our diet, our exercise, some of the supplements that we can take. And this is what Bay Area Modern Medical Center does so very, very well, that they're going to look at your blood work, find out exactly where you are, and have a specialized program just for you. And that's what's important. This is, so many the old thinking like this is what works and this is what doesn't work. Everybody is different. Everybody's body chemistry is different. And you need a doctor that's tuned into that. And that's exactly what Christopher Lugo is and his team. So find out more at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. We'll have him on this week and we'll get some really, really, really good information. All right. Daytona 500 was a star-studded affair. Was it not? I mean, Michael was there. There was a lot of stars there. Our good friends at Woody's Wash Shack had a car in there. Did you see that one? Locally owned company.
I did.
Don Phillips and that crew over there sponsoring the number 27 car, I believe it was, the Woody's Wash Shack car. Pretty cool.
Yeah. I can't remember more of a hype for the 500 in a long time.
It's been a while.
It really was. And you had the full crowd there.
Yeah, which was great.
Even the last time in 2020 NASCAR.
A lot of folks wearing masks outside at Daytona.
I don't believe so. No. But they even had, Luke Combs was the pregame concert, and the scene for his concert before the game or before the race was insane. A sea of people. I mean, there might have been like 50, 60,000 people down in the infield.
The hottest act in country right now. He's that good.
Oh, not even close.
Yeah.
And some of the biggest in all of music right now. He's been that good. But Charles Woodson was there. He had a big presence there on the track. Floyd Mayweather was there. He owns a race team. Pitbull, Michael Jordan, and Floyd Mayweather all own teams.
Wow, look at the diversity there. That.
Yeah.
Wallace, obviously, Michael Jordan owns his car.
Yes.
And he finished second.
A
hell of a run. And this guy, Austin Cindric, who won the Infinity Series a couple years ago, rookie in his 8th race, wins a Daytona 500. And I'll tell you what, the way he finished that race, he looked like freaking Dale Earnhardt Sr. I mean, that was some ruthless shiz right there. I mean, there was nobody getting by him. He was blocking some. He went up high to block Blaney, and then went down,
his teammate,
and then went down and gave Bubba a little shove.
Yeah,
that was aggressive. He was not going to lose that. I think a lot of other rookies would not have done what he did. I'm not saying it's super right, but
I'm saying it's right.
Well, Blaney had him. Blaney goes high.
He was going to win that race.
He was going to win that race, and they're teammates, right?
Yeah, they are teammates.
Penske.
Yes.
Wow. And Blaney's the one who really gave him the push. But that's how it works,
it's Daytona 500, man.
That's how it works.
I mean, Austin Cindric's a rookie trying to make a name for himself.
I'm just saying where he was when you're in the lead on that in the overtime, your chances of winning are probably not good. You're going to finish about 14th. Because they're going to get a run on you. It's all about drafting. If you don't know this, it's not about who has the fastest car, but at Daytona, it's about drafting. And when you're out front, you got nobody to draft with. Now, they can come up from behind and give you a push, which that did happen to him. But at the end, you're going to get run down unless you are ruthless in your blocking. And that's what he did. Let's listen to the the final lap?
Yeah.
Let's get the final lap here, courtesy of Fox?
Yes.
Fox. There we go.
Still inside.
That's
Chase Briscoe hooked
that's
onto the
start,
6 of
so we got a couple
Keselowski.
laps there.
Cindric gets down in front of Blaney, who's not yet in touch with him.
Exactly, and Brad Keselowski waited. He backed up to Chase Briscoe, made sure they were locked on to make sure he got a big run at this.
So he's out.
Fast
by
break coming
right
on the
now, which
outside
means you're gonna
track.
be
Keselowski,
hunt down.
Briscoe,
This is when,
Kyle
on the
Busch.
backstretch, Blaney now tucks in behind him and starts giving him a push. And here it comes.
Push now. Both lanes getting a push.
He's getting
plenty of big push.
And it's so important
23
we're coming to the
car,
white
Wallace is
flag.
right behind
Again,
Blaney,
if
and they're
that
on the
caution
lower
comes
side.
out during that white flag, the race is over. It's time to get established. You better do it quick.
So they're coming around for the final
3
lap now.
miles to go in the Daytona 500.
And here they're going to cross the start finish for the final time. And they're
Brad
all
is going to need Chase Briscoe to lock onto him to push him by those two.
And here's where it's going to get good.
Keselowski had the run, but he's going to need
Here
the
it
help.
comes.
Here it comes. Big push from Kyle Busch and from Chase Briscoe.
He's locked on there too.
He's going to have to stay there.
Everybody's like nailed
Inside
by
was
a
another push from Kyle Busch on that outside.
I'm surprised.
Mirror.
Far out right now.
I think it's where it all came undone last year on our final lap.
Blaney's tucked right behind him now, giving him a little bit of a push, waiting for him to make his final
Briscoe's
move,
out. He
which way he's going
can't
to go.
get
And Bubba's in
Austin
third
Cindric,
right now,
whose
right on
grandfather
Blaney's.
won the Indy 500 as a car owner. Cindric is going to bring them to the line way up high to block Ryan Blaney. And at the line, Cindric beats Bubba Wallace by half a car length, and they crash going into turn 1.
I tell you, he goes high to block Blaney, and Bubba Wallace has got to be thinking, I'm going to win the Daytona 500.
Oh, he saw it.
Right?
And
He had to be thinking
and
that.
he got down there just in enough time and gave him a little wiggle.
Just a
there.
little wiggle.
Oh,
That's the difference right there.
I mean,
So Cindric goes because Blaney's timing was perfect. Coming out of turn 3, he's been on Cindric's bumper the entire time for 2 laps, but backing off, and then he timed his run perfectly. And luckily behind him, somebody else slammed somebody else into the wall, blocked them, which kept that outside run from getting all the way to Blaney.
Yeah.
So Blaney was free to go. So there was 2 guys, like Blaney and Bubba, in second and third were both like, I'm going to win this Daytona 500. Cindric was a sitting duck.
Yeah.
He was a sitting duck coming out of turn 3. And he just goes, because I thought, well, he's not going to go block Blaney. He slammed that bitch into the wall. And then he came back down and got Bubba.
Oh,
That's a hell of a move, man.
and you got to understand too. I mean, they're going 200 miles an hour coming at the line there. When the Daytona 500, I don't know how Bubba, by the way, didn't totally just
he
go
did
into the infield.
He did a great job holding on
keep
to
that car and almost win the damn thing.
Yeah. He had to think for that little stretch. As soon as he went up high to block Blaney, he's like,
Oh, he saw it.
oh,
He saw
shiz,
it.
I'm going to win the Daytona 500.
And I'm telling you right now, if Bubba Wallace wins that Daytona 500, it's the biggest story
oh, my
going
God.
today.
It's huge.
It would have been huge. And honestly, it would have been great for NASCAR.
It really would.
It really would have.
I mean, I think a lot of people feel like, he's got a great team now, a great car. I mean, he may not be the greatest driver. He showed me something right there. That was a hell of a save, and he was in it the whole time. And just he raced a real smart race, stayed out of the big pileups, and then came. And at the end, he couldn't have played it more perfectly. His strategy was absolutely perfect. And if not for Cindric, I don't know how he held it together. When he touches Blaney, his car wiggles too.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like, oh, he's going into the wall. He saves it big time, and then goes down and blocks Bubba.
Yeah.
That was a big time move.
Yeah, everything we saw, putting in the grand scheme of things, everything we saw yesterday from that race, it was perfect for NASCAR. Perfect. Presentation was awesome. All the stars were out.
Yeah.
You get a great race. No, the rain doesn't affect anything like it's done in recent years. You get a victory like that at the end. A rookie driver in an iconic number 2 car, by the way.
Yeah.
And the
that's
guy
right.
who made that car famous behind him, Keselowski, that was the 6 car behind him.
Right.
Pushing him kind of at the end there. That's just as good as it can get. New life. You maybe have a new star in your hands in Austin Cindric potentially.
Yeah.
I mean,
he won the Xfinity Series, so the guy can flat out drive.
The guy can
and
race.
that was as good a racing at the end there as you're ever going to see in the Daytona.
And a successful new car too, the new gen car.
Yeah, I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to that. What's the deal with that?
I'm not going to get into like the aerodynamics of the car. I'm not that well versed in it, but they call it the car of the future, I believe, is like the moniker behind it.
Mm-hmm.
You can kind of see how it's shaped a little bit different. Obviously, the numbers are a little different just on the paint schemes of it, but it's supposed to be a much safer car. And it's supposed to be better. Like, you might not notice it on Daytona, but the other tracks where they have a big problem of guys just pulling away and you can't pass each other.
Right.
That's what the whole aerodynamics is supposed to make it easier to pass guys so they can have more competitive racing.
That's good. That's good.
Because that's where NASCAR has been failing the past few years.
Yeah, I mean, when they first went to restrictor plates, totally understand why, but it also made racing really boring. I mean, of course, there were times when you had, Bill Elliott running out at 240 miles an hour and just nobody could catch him.
Yeah.
That was boring. I think that kind of things got a little crazy. Those cars maybe shouldn't be going 240 miles an hour.
It gotten to recently in the last few years, unless you qualified in the top 5, okay, you had no shot at winning because you can't pass anybody on a lot of these tracks. So this is supposed to make it easier. So, but Daytona, it's hard to tell, but because it's anybody can win, but great race. Yeah,
that was fun. And it's when NASCAR needed a shot in the arm. It really, really did. And, just having those stars out there, I think means because it is a cool sport. It really is a cool sport. I mean, if you've never been to a race at Daytona, and I highly recommend it, it should be a bucket list item because I know on TV it looks boring. But when you get down there in the pits and even, at Daytona, you buy general admission, you can walk down to the front and you can go into turn 1 and stand there and watch those cars come at you. 43 cars, nose to tail at 200, on lap 2 or 3. I mean, they're all bunched up.
Yeah.
You could literally feel it. You feel it, you smell it. It's
the sound, man.
Yeah,
the sound is great. If you're going, by the way, don't put on your stupid little headphone, please. You need to listen. No, you need to listen to it.
You could still hear it with
roar.
your little inserted.
The roar of 40 cars going.
It's amazing.
It's hard to beat and do the experience. I mean, if to have a more of a, I guess, respect for the sport, get on that banking. Walk up that banking if you can.
And they used to let you on the track.
Yeah, if you do the experience, which I've done a few times, you can actually go on the track itself, the banking. You can write your name in Sharpie on the checkered line. You could do all those nice things, but just understand the banking, the angle that those cars are on going 200. It's very difficult.
I saw Marty Smith did a ride along with
Kurt Busch,
and in the pace car. I did that with Rusty Wallace back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go up on that banking, man, it's unbelievable. You really feel like you're going to fall over fall right in the lap of the driver. But you're like holding on the side. It's crazy. And he took it up into the high groove and he was like right up against the wall.
It looks like you're going to hit the damn thing every time, right?
Yeah, and these guys can get so close to the wall and they can feel it. They know exactly where they are.
It's insane.
And you're just, you're soiling yourself.
Yeah, it's insane when they're in the race and it's like they're touching each other the entire race.
Yeah.
200. How do you keep it together like that?
I mean, in just a little bobble.
You could throw the whole thing off.
Oh,
and that's why you get the big one every year.
Crazy, Chris. So congrats to, by the way, Hillsborough High's Eric Almirola finished 5th in what will probably be his final Daytona 500 as he's retiring at a very early age. He's got a young family. He's had his really good career and good on you.
Go Knights, charge on. UCF alum as well.
That's right. Absolutely. So I went to Hillsborough High School and really had him on my show many times. Really, really good dude. Hopefully we'll get him on to talk about this 500 because he was right there in the mix. No doubt about it. And we get our folks from Woody's Wash Shack on as well. They were down in the pits yesterday. Another big story I want to jump on. Let's hit a break. We'll hit a break. We'll come back and we'll hit this. Brian Flores was hired by none other than the Rooney family in Pittsburgh while he's suing the NFL. Very, very interesting juxtaposition. We'll hit that when we come back. Homeowners, listen up. Property values have risen in the Tampa Bay area to record levels, some up to 24% in 1 year. It's time to refinance your home and pull out the equity before rates go through the roof. Call my man Scott Fitzgerald at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Scott believes interest rates will be over 5 very soon due to the volatile economy and inflation, but you can still lock in the mid-3s
but not for long. This means you can save tens of thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. Now, Scott is an independent broker, so he can shop your mortgage around for the best rates, and he will pay for your appraisal if you mention you heard it here on the JP Show. That's a $500 to $700 value. Scott does not charge the huge upfront fees like the big banks do. In this uncertain economy and political climate, better to have cash in hand now. So call Scott at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. If you're feeling run down, your workout sucks, or your sexual libido is not what it used to be, check out Bay Area Modern Medical Center. That happened to me a few years ago, and I found out I had the testosterone level of a second-grade girl. That's not good. Our food, environment, and stress can cause your T levels to drop. Bay Area Modern Medical Center can help, and they are different. They offer customized hormone replacement for both men and women. Christopher Lugo and his medical staff can help you restore your energy, your sex drive, and your feelings of well-being. It was a total game changer for me. I have way more energy, lost 30 pounds, and I'm performing better in all areas of my life. Nobody wants to talk about sexual health, but it's key to a balanced life. We offer discreet treatments with real-world results. So if you're suffering from a lack of interest in sex, ED, or lack of sexual stamina, Dr. Lugo and his staff can help. Take your health care to the next level at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. The PGA Tour's Valspar Championship is back in March in 2022, March 14th through the 20th, right in the middle of the best weather of the year and the last stop on the Florida swing. The Valspar has become one of the must-do events on the Tampa Bay sports and social calendar, so get your best tickets before they sell out. The game's biggest stars love the Copperhead course at Innisbrook. Last year, we saw Dustin Johnson, Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth wow the crowds, and another star-studded field is expected again this year. Sam Burns took the title and will defend again at the Copperhead. This will be a full tournament with the return of Valspar Live, our free Saturday concert featuring Chris Young and Big and Rich, and other amenities including Chameleon Cove, the Hooters Owl's Nest, the Publix Chill Lounge, and other hospitality venues. Go to ValsparChampionship.com for tickets. The best premium hospitality areas will sell out, so don't wait. That's ValsparChampionship.com. JP here for my friend, attorney Christopher Palermo. If you are having issues with a claim on your homeowner's insurance from a sinkhole, storm damage, water intrusion, defective stucco, and construction defects, or any other issue, Christopher is your man. These big insurance companies didn't get rich paying out what you deserve. Chris founded his practice in 2009 with a passion to help all Floridians with disputes where they were forced to take on the powerful and needed a champion in their corner. Chris wants to make sure you will receive the most aggressive and compassionate representations. He has recovered millions in settlements on behalf of his clients facing defective stucco damage and other construction issues. So call Chris, mention the JP Show, and he will give you a free consultation. That's 813-221-5636, or go to PalermoPA.com. He's a fifth-generation Tampanian graduate of Jesuit High School and the University of Florida, and he cares deeply about you and the community. That's 221-5636 or PalermoPA.com.
Are you selling your home or refinancing? JP here for Greenleaf Title. You choose the title company, not the realtor, and it makes a difference. You want a reputable company that will make sure your title is safe and secure. There are a lot of scammers out there right now. So go with a trusted company like Greenleaf Title. Plus, they will close anywhere, folks, and they will send a limo to pick you up to come to the closing. Yep, the great JP Limo Closing is back. All you got to do is give them a call at 727-258-6005 or go to greenleaftitle.com. We'll set up the limo for you. They'll come pick you up. Heck, we even picked up one couple, took them to Black Rock Restaurant, one of our favorite advertisers, and then to the closing. That's how they do it at Greenleaf Title. Great service. Will close anywhere. The lowest fees in the business. 727-258-6005 or go to greenleaftitle.com. That's greenleaftitle.com.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, presented by, in our second hour, Bay Area Modern Medical Center. As getting old is inevitable, feeling and looking old is avoidable. Testosterone replacement is not a frivolous treatment, folks. It takes professional, targeted approach
that focuses on total body wellness, vitality, and emotional stability. A lot of people don't, these testosterone clinics don't pay attention to that. They certainly do at Bay Area Modern Medical Center. So go to BAMMC.com, BAMMC.com to find out more. Interesting story here, my friend, that Brian Flores has a new job now and is going to be a defensive assistant for the Pittsburgh Steelers, which is interesting because he has sued the NFL, obviously, for their hiring practices, and now has gotten a job with the organization that he is suing in some ways. I mean, he's joining the Pittsburgh Steelers, not the NFL, but obviously part of it. And it's an interesting situation. I know, like right now, they're debating on First Take whether he should have taken this job with the Steelers. I think it's a good idea. I think it's a good idea because I think it kind of I think it kind of signals to the NFL that what he's doing is not, even though obviously it's a legal action, it's not in an adversarial way. He's like, look, I want to work in this league. I think you guys are doing some wrong things. I'm gonna have to sue you because this is the only way to get redress in some way and force you to do some things that you're did not want to do. Just like, the NCAA had to be forced to give NIL. Sometimes you have to do things that you don't want to do to get the desired reaction because usually the people in charge are too greedy or not self-aware enough to make changes on their own. So you have to force their hand. And I don't think anybody is begrudging Brian Flores that outside of owners themselves. But this is an interesting situation that he's taking because here's a guy who's been a head coach and a defensive coordinator, and he's going to be basically an assistant and a linebackers coach. And as Albert Breer writes, Flores was already a really good head coach, but the biggest issue we had in Miami was being able to keep a healthy, stable staff and relationship with his personnel department. In Pittsburgh, he'll get to see a place that functions at a very high level in those areas in a different way than New England, where it's a monarchy built around the head coach. And I think that will be good for Flores whenever he gets his second shot. This is Albert Breer writing this. He says, I'm excited to see how Flores can help individual players. In his time as a position coach, he flashed really good acumen to get the most out of guys. He was New England safeties coach from 2012 to 15, helping to lead Devin McCourty's transition from corner, direct Patrick Young's career, remember well he played, and develop Duron Harmon. The 3 years that followed, a linebackers coach, he absolutely got the most out of Dante Hightower, Kyle Van Noy, and will be fun to see how he affects guys like Devin Bush and Minkah Fitzpatrick. I think that's brilliant writing there and observations. And I'll be very interested to see, how Flores, I mean, if he's doing it the right way, he's watching Mike Tomlin, watching how this organization works, and he will get another shot. I do believe that. I mean, this is not, and I know a lot of people are likening this to the Kaepernick situation. It's not. It's something, at least to me, completely different. If you go back and look at the Kaepernick situation, he was offered a starting job by the Denver Broncos. He didn't want it because he said it wasn't enough money. I mean, there's way more to that story than just him taking a knee, folks. And in my mind, and in my opinion, he really didn't want to play anymore. He showed a lot of signs of that, and he could have played a lot of different places, but he didn't want to. Brian Flores wants to be a head coach. He definitely wants to be a head coach, and he wants another opportunity, and he deserves another opportunity. And I think he'll get it. Even though he's the league, I think he's going to get it.
Yeah,
he deserves it.
He should be a head coach. There's no doubt about that, I think. And should he take the job? Absolutely, he should take the job. Yep. He's back in the league. Okay, that counts for something.
And again, this is not what Kaepernick did. He didn't take the opportunities that were given him.
Yeah,
Flores is taking this opportunity, even though it's not exactly what he wants. He's doing it.
Yeah. So I think it is good for him. I wouldn't be surprised if he does the 1 year in Pittsburgh. I think that's as far as he might be there. I think the next head coaching cycle comes around, Brian Flores is going to be a hot commodity.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you're at the point now and you don't want to hire Brian Flores as your head coach, then that's your loss. Frankly, that's your loss.
Yeah.
So you go enjoy hiring your Mike McDaniels all you want and see what happens.
All right, this whole deal and the combine is, when I first heard this, I thought it was a joke. The NFL is basically forcing the combine players into a bubble situation. You have got to be kidding me. I mean, this is ridiculous. Where we are right now,
in COVID, you go back to dark ages of bubbles. I don't even know why. And the NFL's, they are so hypocritical. At the end, at the Super Bowl, no masks, no testing throughout the playoffs for the most part. I mean, come on, because they wanted to get those playoff games in. They didn't want any stars being. And I told you this before the playoffs started. So you're not going to see any suspensions during the playoffs. And now when they got a bunch of guys coming in who they can control and will do anything that they say and won't bitch and moan, right? Because they want their shot, they're going to put them in a bubble. This is ridiculous situation. So now the agents for 150 of these players have been together and said, we're not showing up. We're not showing up if you are going to put these draconian measures on the players. They have to wear masks everywhere. They can't go anywhere. They can't be in touch with their trainers and other coaches. Completely ridiculous. Completely. I don't know why the NFL would even think about going to this. It just makes no sense. Albert Beer wrote this. The players will be restricted to secure combine venues for the entirety of their stay in Indianapolis. Players who break this restriction will be sent home. Players will be allowed to invite one medical support person into the bubble. The medical support person must be fully vaccinated and have all applicable boosters. All will be provided by the combine. This is ridiculous. It's almost as stupid as Fauci the other day saying that taking masks off kids right now is risky. There's no data. Zero data. In fact, there's plenty of data to refute that. And there's plenty of data that shows, first of all, that these types of lockdowns don't work. They don't work. And certainly they're not needed among men that are at the peak of physical abilities and probably all have been exposed to COVID already in the Omicron phase and have natural immunity. It's just the most ridiculous thing ever. I'm glad that they're not putting up with it. I'm glad that these agents are standing up for their players.
And more so, I think this is the point that the agents are bringing up about the bubble. You're taking these players out of their comfort zone, right? And the way they kind of get ready to do these things. It's already a stressful time, I'm sure, right? To be in front of all these teams and scouts and media members and have to perform there. And now you're making them go into a bubble where they're not going to have access to this and that and what the other. And then you have to just come out of that bubble for what, an hour or so? To do your shuttle and your 40-yard dash. It's ridiculous.
Stupid.
It's not giving a fair shot for these players to show it because combine obviously matters to the scouts.
Right.
That whole part of it just makes zero sense.
Have we not understood this by now? All the reports that are out there, all the reports on how these lockdowns and masks have just destroyed mental health in kids especially and what they've had to go through, and they have no say in the matter. And people act like these things are they have no consequences. They have tremendous consequences on people. You may, we just have to stay in your hotel room. Was that so bad? Yes. People need human contact. Isolation makes you effing crazy. That's why I just saw an article that there are 100,000 people waiting in line in Britain to get serious mental health training help. And it's rampant. These things have consequences for people. You don't it's like imprisoning people. And I guarantee you're going to hear a lot of athletes coming back from Beijing talking about this. It's not right. It's not right to do to free human beings. Stop it. Stop it. It's not needed. There's no science behind it. In fact, the science shows how detrimental it is. But yet you as an organization will because you're the NFL, you can make people do it. You're going to do it.
Didn't we not just have me? I'll give you a great example. The Super Bowl, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
We just had it in Los Angeles for crying. I thought if anything, we just had progress. We just did a Super Bowl in Los Angeles. There were hardly any masks to be found.
Right.
They didn't have all these strict protocols. You had everything normal working.
People paying $20,000 a ticket.
Yeah, and
$1 million for $3 million for a luxury box. Yeah. You think they're going to put masks on?
Yeah,
no, they're not.
I watched the entire NBA festivities. Nobody was wearing a mask, and that's the most progressive league when it comes to COVID.
And aren't they still wearing masks on the sideline in the regular season games or some stupid crap?
What, in the NBA?
Yeah,
a lot of them. Yeah.
Folks, masks don't work.
But the NBA now has no more protocols after the All-Star break now. The NFL had none for the playoffs. In the NFL, what are you doing here? The Senior Bowl went on normal for everybody. Everything else the NFL has done has been without protocols. So why are we changing this now for college kids nonetheless?
So stupid. All right, listen to this. This is I did not know these numbers.
Remember, we were talking to Kyle Tucker the other day, who plays for the Astros.
Yes.
I was talking to him about playing on the artificial turf at Tropicana Field. And he said how, he plays for 2 days on that stuff, and he has to sit at his locker, and he's 24 years old. He has to sit at his locker like 15 minutes because his legs are aching so bad. And one of the questions I asked him is like, how do football players do it? You guys, I mean, no disrespect, as I said to him, you guys are standing around a lot. I mean, you run on it, but you don't run like football players. You get slammed to the ground like football players. You don't get, I'm like, how do they do it?
Yeah.
Listen to these numbers about grass fields versus artificial fields that are in all these domes. And this was brought to the league's attention by the NFLPA president, J.C. Tretter, the old Browns offensive lineman. He said, and this is from Breer's column, what I do know is that Tretter presented a lot of data showing that it certainly could have affect. Well, they were talking about Beckham's non-contact injury in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I said, to be clear, I don't know if the turf was the blame for Beckham's injury, which is what reignited this debate over the last few days. What I do know is Tretter presented a lot of data showing it certainly could have. NFLPA research revealed that players had a 28% higher rate of non-contact lower extremity injuries. Holy crap, 28%? That's significant. Almost a third. A 32% higher rate of such knee injuries and a 69% higher rate of such football ankle injuries on the fake stuff. That should be enough for the leagues and individual teams to take a serious look at this. You're damn right it is. Did you have any idea that I've always been told that there were no significant differences in injury on the two surfaces. That's probably league propaganda, but that's what they've always said. The Players Association is saying something completely different.
I didn't know that there were numbers to support it, but just kind of eyeballing it, I always thought there was something there. I mean, you look at, I think FedEx Field in Washington specifically, I think in MetLife have the worst reputation for ACL injuries.
Yeah.
Those two awful fields, turf fields.
Yeah.
Which make no sense. And I think you're going to see that more with this one, Allegiant Stadium. It's a real thing. And the NFL is so, hell-bent on building all stadiums, these turf fields.
Well,
and
because you got to keep the weather out.
But it's a real thing, okay? And I'm not saying I'm going to make this point. But I understand this shouldn't mean anything, but I'm a big fantasy football guy, okay?
Of course you are.
I keep track of all these injuries.
Yes, you do.
There is a record amount of great talent that is missing games the last few seasons because everybody's getting hurt on these damn fields.
Yeah.
Okay? I see it there. So it's a real thing, and I'm glad there are numbers to support it because these fields suck. These fields suck.
I've been down on the turf at Tropicana Field. I've actually played on the turf. We used to do media games there. I got a nice little scar on my leg to prove it too. Yeah, I made the catch though.
Of course you did.
Of course I did. But it literally ripped up my entire leg. I slid like sliding on your side.
Yeah. And
my lower calf on the side it was just ripped open. And it was just a little sliding, little sliding. Now, of course, there's a lot of weight coming down on that. But I was like, damn, that's bad. Because I was playing in shorts and I didn't have the baseball pants on. I may have, and it still did it. But whatever. It's nasty.
It's unforgiving.
It's very unforgiving. And I always wonder, like, how do they play football on this stuff? Because these guys are falling down all the time and getting slammed to the ground. And it's different because depending on the shoes that you use, and you want traction, and these guys want to go fast, right? They want traction, but they also, there's a sliding scale between good traction and getting your knee caught or your toe caught and popping your knee, like happened to Odell Beckham.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of looked like he was slowing down to catch the ball because it was a little behind him, and his toe kind of hit that turf and it just tugged. Whereas a natural field turf, it probably doesn't stick like that. And I think that's what led to his injury, because it's those non-contact ones. It's kind of weird. And if these numbers are correct, and I have no reason to doubt them coming from the Players Association, I have every reason to doubt the numbers coming from the league. Obviously, they have a pattern of this.
The problem with this, though, is I don't see there's a way to really change this because the NFL, like I said, all these teams are building these indoor immaculate stadiums that need the turf fields, frankly, right?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of technology about growing grass indoors. And of course, Arizona has the grass that they wheel out into the sunshine. And I think Vegas may have this. Does Vegas have it? No, they have.
Not exactly sure, but there's another stadium that does that too. But you can't go retrofit some of these stadiums to have that work. I mean, it doesn't. You got to build that from the beginning.
But for some of these other outdoor stadiums, like I just mentioned, like MetLife and FedEx,
Yeah, there's no reason.
Why do we need turf there?
Yeah, because so many teams play on it. It's a more even surface in terms of.
I mean, is it because of the weather? Maybe.
Yeah, less maintenance.
I understand that.
Yeah,
maybe
a
the
lot
weather
less
in the
maintenance.
winter.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it, but I mean, player safety. The NFL
Yeah, it's number
has
one.
been getting, just screwed and effed over for the past 10, 15 years on safety. I know they've done everything they can to protect the head, but this is bad. This is bad.
And it isn't a money thing, because I mean the Bucs. I wonder how much money the Bucs spend on their natural turf, because they have considered one of the best playing surfaces in the league, and but they replace it all the time. I mean, the technology now is you can roll in a new field 3 days out, a natural field, and guys and play on it. They do it all the time.
Yeah,
because it comes in these nice, neat rolls, and they just roll it out. They take it up from the farm and they play it out. It's beautiful. It's immaculate, and the players seem to like it. It's not as fast as a turf, though. It's not as fast. But if these numbers are correct, that's a ridiculous amount.
Yeah.
And I wondered if about the hamstrings too. I think the whole surface thing is. I
mean, you got every running back left and right getting hurt with hamstring injuries lately.
Yeah, it just seems a little bit more than it used to be. Yeah. So that's something to watch as well. And I think the league, the NFLPA with those numbers become a little bit more. I've never seen those numbers. Those are startling numbers. And if that's the case, then something needs to be done. All right, we'll take our final break. When we come back on the other side, we'll reset some of the Brady retirements and or rift situation. We'll play what they talked about on Get Up today. And what's next for Brady? Where's he going to play? Is he coming back? It's still a hot issue. Next. Homeowners, listen up. Property values have risen in the Tampa Bay area to record levels, some up to 24% in 1 year. It's time to refinance your home and pull out the equity before rates go through the roof. Call my man Scott Fitzgerald at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Scott believes interest rates will be over 5 very soon due to the volatile economy and inflation, but you can still lock in the mid-3s, but not for long. This means you can save tens of thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. Now, Scott is an independent broker, so he can shop your mortgage around for the best rates, and he will pay for your appraisal if you mention you heard it here on the JP Show. That's a $500 to $700 value. Scott does not charge the huge upfront fees like the big banks do. In this uncertain economy and political climate, better to have cash in hand now. So call Scott at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. If you're feeling run down, your workout sucks, or your sexual libido is not what it used to be, check out Bay Area Modern Medical Center. That happened to me a few years ago, and I found out I had the testosterone level of a second-grade girl. That's not good. Our food, environment, and stress can cause your T levels to drop. Bay Area Modern Medical Center can help, and they are different. They offer customized hormone replacement for both men and women. Christopher Lugo and his medical staff can help you restore your energy, your sex drive, and your feelings of well-being. It was a total game changer for me. I have way more energy, lost 30 pounds, and I'm performing better in all areas of my life. Nobody wants to talk about sexual health, but it's key to a balanced life. We offer discreet treatments with real-world results. So if you're suffering from a lack of interest in sex, ED, or lack of sexual stamina, Dr. Lugo and his staff can help. Take your health care to the next level at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. The PGA Tour's Valspar Championship is back in March in 2022, March 14th through the 20th, right in the middle of the best weather of the year and the last stop on the Florida swing. The Valspar has become one of the must-do events on the Tampa Bay sports and social calendar, so get your best tickets before they sell out. The game's biggest stars love the Copperhead course at Innisbrook. Last year, we saw Dustin Johnson, Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth wow the crowds, and another star-studded field is expected again this year. Sam Burns took the title and will defend again at the Copperhead. This will be a full tournament with the return of Valspar Live, our free Saturday concert featuring Chris Young and Big and Rich, and other amenities including Chameleon Cove, the Hooters Owl's Nest, the Publix Chill Lounge,
and other hospitality venues. Go to ValsparChampionship.com for tickets. The best premium hospitality areas will sell out, so don't wait. That's ValsparChampionship.com. JP here for my friend, attorney Christopher Palermo. If you are having issues with a claim on your homeowner's insurance from a sinkhole, storm damage, water intrusion, defective stucco, and construction defects, or any other issue, Christopher is your man. These big insurance companies didn't get rich paying out what you deserve. Chris founded his practice in 2009 with a passion to help all Floridians with disputes where they were forced to take on the powerful and needed a champion in their corner. Chris wants to make sure you will receive the most aggressive and compassionate representations. He has recovered millions in settlements on behalf of his clients facing defective stucco damage and other construction issues. So call Chris, mention the JP Show, and he will give you a free consultation. That's 813-221-5636, or go to PalermoPA.com. He's a fifth-generation Tampanian, graduate of Jesuit High School and the University of Florida, and he cares deeply about you and the community. That's 221-5636 or PalermoPA.com.
Are you selling your home or refinancing? JP here for Greenleaf Title. You choose the title company, not the realtor, and it makes a difference. You want a reputable company that will make sure your title is safe and secure. There are a lot of scammers out there right now, so go with a trusted company like Greenleaf Title. Plus, they will close anywhere, folks, and they will send a limo to pick you up to come to the closing. Yep, the great JP Limo Closing is back. All you got to do is give them a call at 727-258-6005 or go to greenleaftitle.com. We'll set up the limo for you. They'll come pick you up. Heck, we even picked up one couple, took them to Black Rock Restaurant, one of our favorite advertisers, and then to the closing. That's how they do it at Greenleaf Title. Great service. We'll close anywhere. The lowest fees in the business. 727-258-6005 or go to greenleaftitle.com. That's greenleaftitle.com.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back. We are brought to you by our second hour, Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Also by the Golden Diamond Source. It's a great time to go shop at the Golden Diamond Source. Got Mother's Day coming up. But it's never a bad time. Just go get your girl a gift. No doubt about it. Or get yourself one of those baller watches that are fantastic. You know, guys can shop at the Golden Diamond Source too. Did you see anything when you were there, when you're picking out a ring for lovely Casey, that you wanted?
There's some great watches there.
You're allowed to buy stuff.
Yeah, I know. There's some great watches.
I'm not a big jewelry. I don't wear a lot of jewelry. I have a couple nice watches, but nothing.
I'm in the market for a watch though.
Yeah.
I am in the market. Golden Diamond Source definitely has probably the best selection.
You'd probably be looking at the used ones because the new ones.
Are you insulting me or something there?
Well, I'm an employer. I know how much I pay you. You'll be looking at the used ones. So, and guys, there are great values there. I think I look at those watches kind of like cars anyway. Cars, like, they lose their value so quickly. Why would you buy a new one? I mean, even a brand new watch is probably going to be, except the collectors, obviously. There's collectors' watches that may go up in huge value. But that's what's great about the Golden Diamond Source. You can go buy one of those nicely used ones, and that can go up in value. It can be an investment. And they've got great deals. And by the way, if you're looking to sell some of your jewelry, that's another great place to go. There's a lot of, the stuff your wife or your girlfriend's not wearing anymore. Take that old stuff out, go in there, sell it to them. You get a high price for it. And then you can go shopping right there, and they'll give you a great deal on the new stuff. There's so much you could do with the Golden Diamond Source. And remember, if you buy a diamond there, you get 100% of that value when you bring it back to upgrade, so to speak. And they're a bigger – I don't talk about that just yet. You're not done paying for this one. So, but you can upgrade and will want to upgrade, and you'll get 100% for it. Go try that when you buy a diamond online. Ain't going to happen. It's the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Olmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. Couple golf notes. Joaquin Niemann goes out and shoots 63-63 at Riviera, 126 to break the 36-hole scoring record there at Riviera. He goes wire to wire, just the fourth golfer ever to go wire to wire at Riviera. And by the way, Joaquin Niemann, he basically grew up here at Saddlebrook. He was he's been playing out there since I think he was like 15 or 16 years old. So this is his home or was his home for a long time. I'm not sure if he's still living out there since this is his second win on tour now. He's 23 years old. He's considered
top 5 ball striker in the game. I mean, he can work it right, left, any way you want to do it. I mean, this guy is a budding superstar. And, he's, again, a local guy who kind of honed his skills out there. He's from Chile, but now based here in the United States, kicking ass.
Yeah, I got a chance to watch a little bit of that over the weekend.
Man, he can play.
I enjoyed him. Colin Morikawa had some really good moments, some aces on there.
Justin Thomas in the mix. How you feel about the hoodies?
The hoodies?
Did you see him see the hoodie he was wearing?
I did not know. I missed that.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound right.
Like all for like the new day, like the collarless shirts that Tiger wears. I'm up for that. But this looked really
wearing a hoodie.
Yeah, it's like a golf hoodie, like an over, like you would normally have just kind of a over. We call them wind shirts, wind shirts. Just a little windbreaker. And, they're always usually logo and golf oriented, but this one was like a hoodie.
Maybe he was a little chilly. What's the problem?
I don't like it.
Yeah, I know why you don't like it.
It's too informal.
I know why
crossed
you
the
like
line
it.
there.
I understand why you don't like it.
Why?
I get it because you're Mr.
I love hoodie. I'm wearing a hoodie right now. I wear hoodies all the time.
I know
love
but
hoodies.
you're Mr. Golf Etiquette, and you probably want everybody to tuck their shirt in. And
I got mad at my partner yesterday for standing right behind me. Well, not partner. We were playing an foursome, lining up the putt, and he's standing like directly behind me. And I didn't care about whether it's an advantage to look at, but it's like, it bothers you. Does that bother you?
No.
You
probably a cart path only guy, aren't you?
No, but it's like that. Like if he's in your eye line and you're taking it back, and like nothing normally. Like you put music on. I honestly, I felt kind of like a dick doing it.
Wait, you golf with music on?
Yeah.
Okay, that's where I draw the line. That's where I draw the line.
I know this is why I felt like a dick. I'm like, I draw the line at you standing behind me. We do everything else. I mean, that was my bad.
No.
Yeah, I kind of felt like a dick after I did it, but it was just like it was bothering me, and I said something about it. I probably shouldn't have, because we play with music on. We don't play like the super etiquette rules, but you got to keep your shirt tucked in. You can't wear hoodies like it's a hoodie. I don't know. Anyway, Joaquin Niemann was fabulous, and by the way, another good sign. Dustin Johnson and Bryson DeChambeau said they're going to stick with the PGA Tour. They're not looking at this Super Golf League.
Boy, did you see the heat Phil Mickelson is taking?
Did
you see the quote?
No, I did not.
Listen to this quote. Okay, this is why he's entertaining us. He said, "They killed Washington Post reporter." He's talking about the Saudi here. They killed Washington Post reporter, U.S. resident Jamal Khashoggi, and have a horrible record on human rights.
Saudi Arabia.
Yeah,
absolutely.
They execute people over there for being gay.
Yeah.
Knowing all of this, why would I even consider it? Because this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to reshape how the PGA Tour works.
So he's saying it's a leverage play to get the PGA Tour to pump up some more money.
Yeah, and Rory McIlroy, did you see him after his round yesterday? He said that he said Phil was naive, selfish, egotistical, and ignorant for making all these comments.
Oh, it's the same thing you say about the Olympics.
Yeah.
Thank God they're over.
But
no, I think it's I mean, to say those things and then go, yeah, but the money looks good. I mean, that's awful.
Yeah.
Especially when you're a billionaire.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Have some freaking principles, for God's sake. Now, I will say this, and that's a horrible way of saying it, but why are these super leagues able to pay these exorbitant salaries if they can? Of course, they haven't done it yet and made a go of it, but the PGA Tour cannot. It seems to me that the PGA Tour is underpaying the players, and they should be getting. Now, this has to be. I have to tell you this too. A lot of all the ticket sales for Valspar, the actual ticket sales, is somewhat simplistic here, but all that money goes to charity. Like the sponsorships from Valspar and the corporate sponsorship, that pays for the purse and all that stuff. All the money they make in ticket sales, basically, they turn over to local charities, and it's over $1 billion now, I think, at the Valspar. That may be a little bit much, and maybe that's too much. I got to go back and look at my numbers, but they've had, millions and millions and millions of dollars they've given to local charity, and the PGA Tour does every year, maybe more so than any league. And if the players are saying, well, we want that money to go into our pot, Okay, I get it, but at the sacrifice of local charities.
Yeah, I mean, I think I agree with when we talked about Phil's comments about a month ago, I believe, about what he was saying about the PGA Tour. I thought he was spot on, but it seems like he's going a bit overboard now.
That's not the way to put that out there, but I think there's some culpability here for the PGA Tour. I don't think we know that they're not as transparent with their finances as maybe we should know.
Yeah.
Now, where's this money going? You know, I'm if it's going to charity, okay, but again, are they not exploiting certain television deals that they could be doing? Because, and you have to understand also that these top players, if you single out the top players and you're just using them every week, yeah, it's going to be more interesting. It's going to get more ratings, but you're destroying the rest of the field, and you got to have the field in order to play golf. You know, I know that sounds silly. You need. Where are we going to get the next Joaquin Newmans from? Right? If they're playing on these lower tours, how do we know until they start playing with the better players? You just mess up the whole freaking system is what I'm saying. And I don't want that. I don't want that. The system is good, but the players, again, it's like this baseball strike. When you got billionaires and millionaires arguing over money, nobody wants to hear that. To play golf, you guys are going to really screw up everything that we like to watch because you need more money. Sad to say. All right. No guests today, but I think we had a pretty good show. We thank you. We had a lot of numbers today. We've been watching it live. So we thank you all for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll be headed to Nashville for the outdoor game for the Lightning. We're going to talk a lot about that tomorrow. And, of course, there'll be another round of Brady Arians stories to talk about as well. So join us for that each and every day. 10 to noon each and every day we are live, and you can watch us or listen to us anytime on the app. FanStreamSports.com is our website. You can watch us on YouTube. You know where to find us. And we'll be here tomorrow live. See you then.